everyone, welcome to my studio. My name is Samantha Williams-Chapelski and I am the Golden Working Artist for the province of Alberta in Canada. Today we are going to be looking at doing this project here using an Ampersand Claybord panel and some Golden High Flow Indigo and Golden High Flow Green Gold. So I hope you enjoy making this project and thank you so much for watching. So today we're going to be making a floral work of art on an Ampersand Claybord panel. So this is a Claybord panel here, you can see from the back. And we have used a variety of golden acrylics, including Golden High Flow, Green Gold, and Golden Indigo, which is also high flow, to create this really unique piece of art. So we're going to give you a little bit of a materials list here to start. So I have Golden High Flow in Green Gold. I have some High Flow in Indigo, so this is Anthracnone Blue, really beautiful blue. Now the High Flow is sort of essential. It's basically like an ink-like paint, and we're going to be using it for its really thin, super dense color. We also need a fine line applicator. So these have a very skinny little fine line applicator on the surface there, and we're actually filling that up with fluid bone black. Alright, so this is Golden Bone Black. I'm just going to put this back on here. I also have an assortment of other colors to give me some of these varieties that are in the floral part here. So I've got Nickel Azo Yellow, so this is a heavy body paint, and I've also got Quinacridone Magenta. I have some Titanium White as well, and this is also a heavy body acrylic. An assortment of brushes, and a couple of stencils purchased from stencilgirl.com. So these are actually a lace stencil, and you can see that's what we've actually used in the background here. Alright. Also, you will need a page protector. This is something that is just one of those cheap things you can buy from your local office supplier, and these actually just hold paper, but we're going to use it to create an acrylic skin on top of today. So to start with, you need a clean Ampersand panel. This is my clay panel. Now this part gets a little bit messy, so if you are conscious of your surroundings, just be aware, and you may want to wear gloves. You can see my hands are already stained from it. We're going to place our stencils out. And what I've actually done here is I've taken some of the Golden Indigo High Flow Acrylic. I've mixed it with some water and put it into a spray bottle. So the ratio I probably did about 1 part water to about 3 parts Golden High Flow, just to make sure it comes out of the spray bottle. So we've got our stencils placed, and I'm just going to basically spray this indigo acrylic over top of the stencils relatively lightly. Then I'm going to pick these stencils off as carefully as I can. You can see they've left an imprint of that lace pattern on the panel. So I'm going to use this, and again I'm going to flip over my stencils, move them to the other side. You can layer them, you can sort of wrap them on top of each other, you can layer them all over. We're just basically making that underlying texture. And the best part about this is if you go too dark, you can always bring it back up with some white. You can see here is quite a messy project so far. I'm just going to pull that one off, and I think I'll add one more here. And once you're done with these stencils, it's great to just wash them off, and then you kind of have a clean palette for your next project. So I'm just going to put these to the side. So you can see we have this beautiful lacy texture that's going on. Now if I did find some areas like this were a little bit dark, I can take some titanium white and go back in with my stencil and whiten out some of those areas as well. So I'm just adding a bit of titanium white to enhance the stencil effect here. So you can see I've got it on a little bit faster mode, but I'm just adding some heavy body titanium white on top of my stencil to give that lacy texture a little bit of extra color and a little bit of extra space to it. And how amazing of a texture is that to work on? It's absolutely beautiful. You've got that lacy pattern. You can see here I've added a little bit of the titanium white as well. Not that much, it just gives it that lacy feeling. So we've got our board panel ready to go. We are now going to be creating the acrylic skin. So for an acrylic skin, we need the page protector here. We also need your fine line pen. So we need the standard tip. They have different ranges of tips that are available. And again, I have filled this up with fluid bone black. Now I don't want to go too thin, so that's why I'm using the fluid bone black rather than going a high flow black, just because this has a little bit of a texture to it. And basically you can trace and copy any image you'd like. So for example, I have this image that I printed off of the internet. I'm just going to slide it underneath here and take my applicator, and I try to start from the top down just so I don't forget where I've already drawn the lines. You can see here I'm basically going to trace the outline of this flower. Now this acrylic will dry on the plastic and it'll actually be removable, so we're going to create a skin out of this. And it's going to be really beautiful. It'll be very intricate. We're able to add in lots of details here and really create something very special. So you can see here I'm adding in lots of extra lines, lots of extra detail work here, which is great. These pens are beautiful for adding in whatever detail you'd like to add in. You don't have to make a flower per se. You can make basically whatever shape you want. My friend Melanie Matthews definitely showed me how to do this, so it's an amazing trick on her part, and I love it for this kind of project. So I can go as fine in detail as I want because we will be covering this up with another acrylic. So you will lose all of the open spaces and you'll fill it up with another color. So once you're done creating your shape, what we're actually going to do is let this dry completely. So this is all dry, and again we have all those lines facing upwards, and we're actually going to paint on top of this. Alright, so I've picked out my palette of colors here. I have quinacridone magenta, got nickel azo yellow, which is the yellow one here, and I've got some titanium white. And basically all I'm going to be doing is filling in the shape. I don't need to worry about going in any of the lines, and I'll show you why in a minute. So I'm going to start with some of the darker pink in the middle. And again, this is why it's integral that this is dry before we start doing this part of the project. You can see I'm not really worried about covering up all those intricate little lines, little design parts here. Alright, so I've got the entire image covered in color. Now you can see once this dries, we've actually got this beautiful flower image, and it's already colored in, and it's got quite a neat variation. So once this is dry, we end up with pieces that look like this. So this is the back side, and obviously this is where we actually put the paint on, and we've applied the paint. So once we've got the paint all applied, we're going to be covering it with polymer medium gloss. And that's the essential part here because that's what's going to create the skin for us. Alright, so we have polymer medium gloss, and I'm actually just going to pour some out right onto my image here. And the idea is that I want to make myself a skin that is relatively easy to pick up off of this sheet. So I'm going to give myself an edge. It's sort of a straight down edge here right on the side. That way I'm able to get it off of this acrylic sheet, and then I've got all of my parts covered up here. So I want to make sure they all have a good coating of polymer medium gloss, just so they don't fall apart or lose any of their shape. Add a little bit more here. And we're going to let this dry. Now it has to dry to be perfectly clear. And you're going to notice it has almost a cloudy effect right now. It's almost got a blue cloudy effect. We need that to be perfectly dry before we transfer it onto our image. So we've let this dry overnight, and now what we're going to do is actually peel this off. So I find using an X-Acto knife or something with a sharp edge just to lift up one of the corners really useful. So you can see here, once I start peeling, I have to be sort of delicate with this because we don't want to rip it. So all of that polymer medium that we applied all over to the surface is dry, and it's gone perfectly clear. So we're actually able to pull up this beautiful image that we've created. Now once we're ready and I have most of the image lifted off, I'm actually just going to set it down and prep my board. So you can see, sort of figure out where you want to place this image, how you'd like it to look, where you want it to sit. So I think I'm going to leave it about here. And I'm going to take some polymer medium gloss. I'm actually going to brush it over the surface. That way I have something for this skin that I've created to adhere to. I'm going to brush it all over, and it doesn't matter if you go over the intended area, this will dry perfectly clear. It has a nice little sheen to it as well. So I'm all ready. I'm going to go back and take my skin here. I have it all lifted up on this side. The biggest thing here is you really just don't want it to fold in on itself. And that's sort of the tricky part. So you can see it's like a little plastic piece of skin. And I'm going to slide it over top. Place it down, and I'm just going to press down just to get out any of those little air bubbles. Perfect. I'll just brush a little bit more polymer medium gloss under here. And there we go. How beautiful is that? So our next step is we are going to add another color. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Alright, so I'm going to be taking some fluid titanium white. Put this on my palette here. And some golden high flow green gold. So this is an absolutely beautiful color to be using, and I'm going to add that right next to my white. I'm going to be giving this painting a little bit of added interest. So I'm mixing the two colors together and I get this really easy to apply color. I'm going to go back into this painting and add some touches of green. So you can see what I've done with the green is really vary the light and dark areas by adding in a little bit more white to the green gold or a little bit less. So again, I'm using high flow green gold with some titanium white just to sort of highlight our composition here and give it a little bit more visual interest. So at this point I'd probably say that's about enough green gold for my liking, but again, you can always add more. You can develop more of these lacier bits here. But once this is all dry, I'm going to let it completely dry so that all my edges are sealed down, and I might go over it with a coat of polymer medium gloss just to give it a super shiny finish, or you could go over it with a matte medium just to give it a mattifying finish. But yeah, that's my project using an Ampersand Claybord and Golden High Flow Green Gold and Golden High Flow Indigo. For more information about my upcoming online classes or my work in general, visit www.samanthawilliamschapelski.com.